For 11 years, advanced provider for 15, county coordinator for 8, state instructor for 21, and is currently the regional faculty member and program coordinator. Mark performs under pressure and sum it up like a football or baseball, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, bases loaded, gotta come in. Somebody's gotta perform. Football, 2-minute warning, we're down by a touchdown, gotta get it. On that note, I give you Donna to explain exactly what Mark did.
Well, we had a veteran. Can you just move a little bit? We had a veteran that had come down with ALS, and his doctor recommended that he go to India for some stem cell treatment. Getting to India was one thing, but then it was time for Don to come home. And his doctors said, along with the airlines, that he would have to have a medic with him in order to come home. Well, no one in India was going to fly to the United States with Don and then have to go back. And Hugs for Heroes came in, along with
Hold on, I'm still here. No, we don't have you. What?
along with Linda Nichols, who's a Patriot Guard rider, Hugs for Heroes, and Hebert Travel Agency in Saratoga. A lot of telephone calls, a lot of crying, a lot of begging, a lot of Facebooking, a lot of emailing, and we put out a request for some kind of medic, a doctor, or a nurse trained in this area to please step forward, and Hugs for Heroes would pay for them to go to India, get Don, and bring him home. We needed our soldier home. His wife was with him. They were there for months. Mark Spezio stood up. I'll do it. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll do it. I don't know where you're sending me, but I'm going. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm staying, but I trust that you'll make it happen. And God was so wonderful to send us Mark, to send us people like Linda Nichols, to send us people like Stacy at Hebert Travel. And the only airline that would have anything to do with us was India Air. So we had to try to deal with India Air. I don't speak their language. Mark doesn't speak their language. Linda didn't speak their language. But we, through Hebert Travel, were able to communicate and make this happen. Now, we had to get Mark over there. He had to have a visa. Do you know how long it takes to get a visa? Well, it took us 24 hours, opposed to 4 or 5 days or weeks or months or whatever. It was a lot of work. We had to get a special courier. Mark was already on his way. He had to get in touch with his courier. It was a lot of work. But God was right there with us, making it happen, and Mark never once faltered, which I probably would have, and Don, who we were bringing home, was one of my dear friends. But I don't know if I would have had the courage to do what Mark did, to go to another country to bring home our soldier, but he did it. Now, Don and Donna, that's their names, Don and Donna Armstrong. Whoops. Don and Donna Armstrong they moved to South Carolina, warmer weather, and be close to their children, and they wish that they could be here. The messages that have come into my email and my Facebook all this week, wanting to tell Mark what it meant to them, and they have sent a representative here with Donna's words to tell you what it meant to them and what happened in their lives. So I would ask Bob Shilen, very dear friend of Don and Donna's, who's been him and his fiance Mary Beth have been such moral support to Don and Donna. I don't know where they would be without them. So would you like to say words? And I guess you have to stand right here. Don't move. This is Bob Shilen.
Okay, thank you. silver part that makes it
Donna sent me this email. She wanted me to express her appreciation for going to be here today. So in February of 2013, Don and I went to Delhi, India for 12 weeks for embryonic stem cell therapy to try and combat Lyme disease and Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. After 1 week in India, Don got pneumonia and was hospitalized for 6 weeks. He was extremely ill and was placed on a ventilator and a feeding tube. After 6 weeks of hospitalization, they finally sent him back to the clinic. He finished his stem cell therapy, but we ran into new problems. We're only allowed to fly back to the States with Don on a ventilator if we had a medical person with us in case of emergency. Don Alexander and Linda Nichols searched high and low for weeks for someone to help. Finally, the help was found right in our backyard. Mark Spezio, a paramedic with the Cambridge Rescue Squad, volunteered to take time to fly 15 hours to India and fly back home with us. We left India at the end of May. Don gave Mark a run for his money about halfway into the flight. The vent overheated and Don couldn't breathe. Mark did everything he could. We were running out of ideas and almost lost Don. But somehow, Mark kept Don going. Eventually, we made it, and the Cambridge Valley Rescue Squad was there to meet us. They whisked Don away to Albany Medical Center. Mark, Don and I wish we could have been here to celebrate with you today. We are so thankful for everything you did for us. We now live in South Carolina, so anytime you want to fly down here and fly back to New York with us, just in case of emergency, you're more than welcome. Thank you.
Mark, on behalf of Hugs for Heroes, we have a little something here for you. Hang on your wall. To exemplify your flight with Hugs for Heroes, the Cambridge Valley Rescue Squad in India, there is a keepsake for yourself.
Have I ever been a loss for words? I just, this was quite an adventure. My wife was the one that actually, as the email came in, I said, well, geez, who are you thinking of? And she replied back and says, you, silly. So there we were. In a couple of weeks, we're on the airplane. That was a crazy 3.5 days. A 14-hour one-way flight with a 10-hour time change. So you lose a day, pick up a day. And by the time I got in the ambulance to go to Albany Med, I had no idea where I even was. But the good news is we brought Don home. It was a valiant group effort. And when I look back at not only getting Don home and thanking him for what he's done for our country and the service that all of you folks continue to do, I was fortunate to grow up in a time that there was relative peace, in the 80s and early 90s, and didn't need or have the need to get into military service. But one of the things that this trip did for me is both of my grandfathers served in World War II, and a few years earlier than that, on another kind of mission, more social mission, I was able to go to Italy, where my father's dad had pushed through and come through Africa and come up through Italy, and actually had been in the Colosseum, and it was pretty sobering to actually stand in the Colosseum where he fought for our freedom and the freedom of the Italians. And my mom's dad had fought in Burma and had actually been stationed in Delhi for quite a few months during his tour. So to be able to be over there where my other grandfather had sacrificed and really pushed for the peace and everything that we have today, to be able to say that I've been to both of the places where my grandfathers have served, and to come home and to do something that's helped somebody in return is very grateful. Thank you very much for this, and enjoy the warm water. Yeah.
Check. Thank you, Mark. Santa Claus is present.
Oh, yeah. Kind of early.
Santa, would you like to say a few words?
Little lost.
better behave. I'm watching. I have lots of spies watching too. Like your size.
We need to talk about the silent auction.